Excellent. Boop boop boop. Robot and the Bear. Boop boop. You know, I created Robot and the Bear music. I think
I you sent it to me. Yes.
yes. I don't think
We'll put that on the maybe we'll put it on this one.
yeah, put it on afterwards. I think it's pretty
Oh yeah,
funny.
you mean at the end? We just have to play
Yeah,
it through the radio. Yeah, I can.
yeah.
I think we can set it up correctly, but or you can play it now. Looks like you want to play it now.
I'm just playing it now because I think it's hilarious. Yeah, and but
Have you started it yet?
can you hear it?
No,
Now the microphone.
no,
Is
I
this
can't hear it.
microphone working?
Yeah, sure.
Can you hear it? No.
What was that?
Oh, I
Oh, I
guess it's
see.
like
It doesn't
maybe.
sound. It sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure it
Yeah,
does. It's just
I
it's
just
the.
heard. I just heard
Oh, that's weird.
robot bear robot. That's all I could hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
all right.
Um,
Robot and the Bear.
Rob on the
Episode
Bear.
number 91 underway.
91. So
I
wait,
believe it's 91.
wow.
I believe it's
91.
91. It could be 92, but I think it's 91.
Yeah, isn't don't you have like a link somewhere or a web page somewhere where you just kind of like update it with every upload?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have to put that on there because A, it's free, but also when you upload it there, it migrates everything or it just automatically puts everything to like iTunes and something like that. I don't know what else it does, but yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, it's on automatic because if you put it somewhere else, it may just sit there. So this one is kind of an automatic.
I see. I see.
Yep. It's a Squarespace website, so I think Squarespace automatically will put it onto like streaming services.
Do you like Squarespace?
No, but I mean, I have it, so I was just like, well, I'll use it for Rod and the Bear too, because I'm
No.
already paying for it for myself.
Oh, okay. What do you
Yeah,
usually post on there?
it's nothing. It's just ericnakamura.com.
You don't post your photos?
Not really. I just have I update a few things up in like on there, but not too much.
Mm.
Just like stuff that I've done or whatever. It's almost like a portfolio page.
Oh, okay. So like is this an online resume of sorts?
Up or down. Oh, I was told that you're too loud.
Oh my, here I could turn it down on my end.
See? You turned it up just because you're like, me. My volume's not high enough. I
know
need to be higher.
I need to
And
be
now it's too
louder.
high. Now it's higher. And then it's ruining it all.
I need to dominate the conversation. How do I sound
See?
now?
Ruined it. I don't know.
I don't know.
It sounds fine to me, but I don't
How,
think there was ever a problem. But somebody out there didn't like it. So whatever.
yeah, I saw a someone say
But
on
hey, maybe it's their shitty speaker.
oh, maybe,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. It
but
might be
like,
their shitty ass speaker. So
well,
there.
we need to take into consideration these things. Let me see. Well, let's see.
Oh, so you read every review? Luke
No,
Chu sucks. Luke
well,
Chu sucks. And then it's like, oh, my bum suck. Oh no.
oh, I'm sensitive. Yeah, Mavros said the podcast.
Who the fuck's that?
I'm not sure, but
Oh.
apparently listen, and being that they're one of maybe like 6 people, I care about them, and
Nah.
they say, "I'm having some trouble. Is the volume really low for everyone, or just me?"
Oh, see,
Yeah.
then it's just them. So you just turned yourself up and not me. Just that makes no sense. Is it the entire volume or is it just me? Luke's like, I better just turn myself up.
I better just turn myself up.
He turned himself up too high. That's
So
hilarious. Okay, I love it.
yeah, but
Luke's like, I better turn myself up. I'm not going to tell you to turn you up.
yeah.
Just me.
Look, I noticed that there was something. I heard some. I kind of glanced over it and said volume, and then you know,
And then you didn't share with me, didn't say what it was or anything.
well, I'm sure.
Anyway, okay. Thank you so much.
So
Thank you so much, Luke.
it's been a busy week here for the robot and I guess the bear.
That's hilarious.
Eric, tell us about your week. Tell us
The week. So we had Yuki Nori Dehara show at Giant Robot 2, and he flew into flew into Los Angeles and basically put up a kind of one of his classic style kind of Sofubi looking shows but it's actually all sculpted figures. but he kind of makes them look like Sofubi. And then there's some of it is Sofubi, but because we had Sofubi figures. But I mean, a lot of it is just his work in his paper clay style,
Is
which is
that
kind of something that he's actually kind of stepped away from it from a second, and then now he's back on it.
oh really?
Well, he was doing like custom Sofubi and stuff like that.
Mm.
And then now he's back to making his paper clay sculptures, which is really cool.
I like the paper. I like the paper clay stuff. I like the fact that like he makes the effort into like designing like this really consistent and cohesive packaging design. That
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, he's trying to make it look like a toy, right?
right. And
I think that's the idea. He's trying to make it look like as if it's a product, but it's actually art.
I think I went to the opening. It's a great show. I think Dahara is just he never like he always steps up. He always like brings the heat, for his shows in my opinion.
Sure.
And the like I think this year's show kind of revolved around an OL or an
Yeah.
office lady
Yes.
character, a particularly tall one. um I don't remember the name of the character though.
Um. Something. Wait. Something Dejima. I forgot the name too. Something Idejima or something like that. It was like an odd last name, kind of. I was kind of like, oh, that's not a normal last name.
Hmm.
But yeah, he tried to make a character or a new character,
Hmm.
who is basically what is it, 6 foot 1.5,
Yeah, 6.1
and
point 7 or point 1, yeah, 17 or something like that.
so I asked him why, and he said occasionally in Tokyo or maybe in Japan, he said he sees one, like he'll see an office lady, which I guess is just think office lady is like this strange term. And all it really signifies is you have a job in an office. You're sort of like an office worker. You make tea or coffee. And my guess is you push papers. You're just in a cubicle and, or something like that. Or there's no cubicle. You're just kind of like an assistant, all around office assistant. But yeah, this one is really tall. But he said sometimes he would see one who's just freakishly tall, and he'd be like wondering what's their life like.
Well,
So I think that's what made his imagination take off and create a character. And he kind of he has a video that kind of explains it a bit.
there were posters on one side of the wall that like showcased like some photographs of his sculpts, and like the story was in French, which was interesting. Fortunately, Rachel, my girlfriend, came along with me, and she has an elementary school level understanding of French and was able to kind of translate because we didn't make it to the video, which is tucked in the opposite corner of the
Right.
gallery, and it basically explains how this office lady is in love with is kind of a foodie. She eats sushi once a week, and she's in love with the sushi chef who is also a robot.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah. And it's controlled by that older sushi chef who is basically almost like a zombie
oh, okay.
because he's like super old. And then, yeah, he has a remote control
Mm,
and he controls that sushi chef, the mechanical sushi chef.
mm. And
Yeah.
and like the robot sushi chef has a knife hand.
Yes.
And I think the thing that gives away that it's a robot is the lines underneath the mouth, which
Chin.
create
Yeah.
and for the chin to give it that puppet look. And
Yeah.
then she loves watching horror films and like takes notes on like the horrific ways some of these characters die.
Yeah. Or I think how one can kill people
Yeah. And then
in horrific ways. Yeah.
whenever she gets negged at the office, she envisions her um the co-worker, I guess, dying in these horrific ways.
Yeah. And I think she doesn't want to be an office lady.
Mm.
And she although she is tall, she has no athletic ability. I think that's another trait. Um, Yeah, and there is another office lady who likes being an office lady.
Mm,
There, it's just yet another side character. And
mm,
there's like I think there's an office manager, a salary man. There's like all these other side characters too.
mm.
But her job, or the job of that company, is they have this is really strange.
Mm.
They have they get boxes, and their job is to put it in another box and ship it. So they actually technically don't know what's inside of that box, but then what it actually is in the box is a uh, plush doll for seniors. I think it's some kind of a
Mm.
plush doll for seniors, and I forgot what it does. Like it talks or something. But you know, like because a package breaks open, and then they're like, "Holy shit, this is what's in here."
I
you
I
know?
didn't catch something. I missed some of those details
Yeah,
because there
yeah.
are some like figures, sculptures of the box, and
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah. And it's
seeing one.
ripped open and there's like a little plushy character, and it's for senior citizens, evidently. But yeah, but their job is just to ship it. They don't even know what's in there.
And then there was a cat for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the cat
Yeah. I
the
don't
cat's
either.
role.
I don't know either because the cat's blue and that other thing looks like a plushy animal, but it's not blue. So that's not the cat. So I'm a little confused too.
Mm.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, like I said, Dahara.
But I mean, just think that's a whole like a universe he creates, right? Just conceptually
Right?
for an exhibition, or for maybe that'll have this long, you know, it'll have a future for him to like make sofubi of certain characters. And again, it's just like opening yet another, you know, yet another book of craziness that's going to turn into more years of sofubi making,
Well,
probably.
he's great because like all of his like work is essentially this kind of like fucked up commentary about Japanese work culture. And the ironic thing is that he's not really a part of that at all since he's full timing, the art and toy thing, right?
Yeah.
So,
He's yeah, but I guess I think, was there a moment, gosh, I forgot. So I mean, from many interviews, I almost feel like he might have had to try to be like a, you know, the very beginning of his career or before his career, he might have like had to do some salaryman style work or something like that.
mm, mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it is because times have changed,
Hmm.
salaryman cultures just changed too. So some of his stuff is sort of retro
Mm,
as it's going along. Like things have changed, you know. And when he started kind of making this commentary, I mean, it was a certain way, and then here it is 20 something years later. It's changed since then. But so
mm,
he's depicting kind of a retro world.
mm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
interesting.
it's yeah, because I think that when I think of the Japanese, office culture, obviously I don't know very much about it except for hearsay from, like different, anime or things like that. But I think one of the things that, like, I remember what I was watching on Netflix this Sanrio kind of anime called Agretsuko, which is about like you know
Yep.
the people who working in this like office and the office culture and stuff. And so I kind of gleamed like a little bit off of that, obviously acknowledging the fact that like all of this is you know exaggerated for entertainment purposes, but um you know yeah, it definitely is, I imagine, kind of a meme within itself in Japan, right? Like, oh, like you hear about like black companies which are this kind of like almost like office, like, I don't know, unhealthy offices where they kind of work people to the nub and stuff like that. But I don't know. I haven't had a real office job since, I don't know, freaking for for a while, since the '90s, I think, or
Well,
maybe the early 2000s.
keep it that way.
Yeah, I'm trying, buddy.
But
My
yeah, so
well,
Dehara's But yeah, I think, I mean, they're not always office because he did a whole thing on wrestling once, and
He did
you
some
know, like he's
Yakuza kind of inspired stuff as well, right?
yeah. So maybe it's somewhat societal and
Hmm.
things of his interest, but yeah, it always sometimes has this weird link. I mean, he has done a yokai one.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean they have a link to like culture somehow, and it might be a very strange link,
Hmm.
but there's always some kind of a link to culture in a way. Like it's usually never just something right out of nowhere that makes no sense out of anything.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I
Mm.
think that in that way it's kind of interesting.
And
But
then,
it's yeah, he's been doing this for what 20, 30 years or something,
yeah,
25 years maybe, something like that.
yeah. Well, I mean, how long have you known him?
I think between 15 and 20 years, maybe closer to 20.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, I think I met him probably 20.
How did you meet him?
Yeah. I met him in Tokyo. I interviewed him for Giant Robot Magazine.
How did you hear about? He last one of the last times I was in Japan, Dahara had like posters up in the subway that were like, subway like related
Really?
stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. It was so he's definitely doing like some kind of like commission work, somehow.
Oh, I wonder what that was.
Yeah, and but like, did you just catch wind of him from the giant robot days, or from the magazine
Uh,
days, or
I am positive where I know where I saw it. I think I saw his work at there was a store called Zaka in New York,
okay.
and he had an exhibition there. Uh,
Mm,
and that was that's that before I had Giant Robot store, so
mm.
that's 25 years ago perhaps.
Oh shit.
And he had a store. What do you call it? He had an exhibition there, but I missed it. And they had one. This is very New York. They had one of his pieces there, and I was like, "Oh shoot, I want to buy that. How much is that?" Type of thing. And of course, not for sale. Like it's so New York, right? Everything not for sale. So I remember that's where I first saw it, and yeah, so I probably met him somewhere around 25 years, 20 to 25 years ago, I guess.
Mm.
But and then the way I got hooked up with Dehara is through Raymond at Toy 2R.
Oh, okay.
Because Toy 2R, so I made an effort to get a hold of Dehara. I sent him messages, got ghosted, sent him an email, got ghosted. I saw his stuff once in Tokyo and Daikanyama at a shop,
Mm.
like stickers and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, there's this guy again. I like him. And I actually emailed him thinking I'm going to see him in Japan,
Mm.
and then got ghosted,
Ghosted.
right?
Ghosted.
Ghosted. And then finally Raymond set it up,
Hmm.
and I don't know if Raymond was close to Dehara, which I don't think so at all. But yeah, he had somebody he knew in Tokyo actually take me to Dehara's studio, and then I interviewed him.
I miss Tortuar. I always thought the key was Tortuar was a Hong Kong based company, and they produced one of the three big blind box platform toys. The three being the Bear Brick, the Key, and the Dunny. Dunny by Kid Robot.
Yep.
And the Key I always thought was the superior design. Like I've always felt that way about it, and I still feel that way. Like whenever I see a Key figure, I'm just like, oh, that was great. And they really kind of blew up at around 2003, 2004. So to you know, I wonder what happened to him. I heard that Toy Tour was kind of toxic, um, but the
I
fact.
know he was kind of right wing China, although he lived in Hong Kong,
Mm,
and I think that probably I that's what I heard anyway. I don't know.
mm,
That's a that is just what somebody told me because I haven't heard from him either. Like I don't know where he went
hmm.
or what happened, but yeah, I've heard only that.
Right.
The artists usually are probably not right wing, at least in Hong Kong. So
Hmm.
the artists were just like, oh, they don't nothing good to say about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Key was instrumental in my relationship with Monkey King, whom um, I rolled with, all the way up. Well, I mean, I still, I guess, technically roll with them, but like Monkey King isn't really such a big deal anymore, and the story.
Oh,
Well, I mean, like,
Pat
Patrick
for
has.
Monkey King,
Yeah,
just not a big deal anymore.
well, Patrick.
Patrick, Monkey King, not a big deal anymore.
That's terrible. I'm terrible. No,
Yes,
but like
yes.
Monkey King isn't
It's
really
not a big
producing.
deal anymore.
It's not a big. It's not producing big deal stuff anymore. So that's why I self-produced my last figure.
Um, yeah. Well, they was Omi the Omi thing not part of the like the four main platform toys.
Not even close.
Oh, okay, okay. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Give him a chance. You just shot it down.
I'm look. I'm I'm blunt like that.
You could have said, yeah, I tried it, blah blah blah. Instead, you said, no, 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 no.
Not even close, bro. Not even close.
Okay. Anyways, no, I understand. That's hard to do. But yeah, so Raymond Choi at Toy 2R was amazing.
Yeah.
At least when Toy 2R was on fire, that was something that we sold a lot of keys actually at Giant Robot.
Mm.
Yeah, it was pretty popular. I mean, we sold a lot because I think part of it was maybe there was a lot of exclusivity with Bear Brick, and I feel like Toy 2R was less exclusive, like you are not cool enough type of thing. It's like I think he just followed the cash. He was like, "What? You're gonna pay? Okay, you could have some of this." Whereas Bear Bricks were like, "No, you're just not cool enough. You can't.
I don't even
Your
know.
money,
But
your
it's a
money's
cool enough.
your
thing.
money's not green enough. Your money's not good enough. You can't have this."
I always kind of felt
I
like
think there was a little bit of that.
I always felt like Medicom was just like they just didn't care enough. I think that they were really quite content with their Asian market. They have a
Maybe.
huge presence in like probably Hong Kong, Taiwan, like Southeast Asia and stuff like that. And then it, dealing with America was just too big of a pain in the ass.
I'm not sure if that's true, but maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Like all I know is I
You know
had
what?
money and money, and I wanted to give that money to them,
Mhm.
and they just didn't want it. And
Because
it's like, oh, it's not
Giant
green
Robot
enough.
is the coolest. I mean, people.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Even back in the heyday, it still wasn't good enough. I still
Aw.
couldn't get stuff from them, but they did do stuff with other people, right?
I think I don't know.
Right? I mean, aren't they doing decon stuff and all that stuff?
Well,
Right?
the relationship that Medicom
mean,
has with Decon is pretty unique. I
well,
don't know whether or
I-
not I can say anything about it, but like, it's like basically like Ben flies out to Japan, I think a couple times a year to foster and finesse that relationship. So, um, you know,
oh, I didn't fly to Japan enough. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. You're not
Oh,
flying
they
out
probably
enough.
wouldn't even. They probably wouldn't even. They would be like, nope, sorry, we're out to lunch. You can't come. That's what happened.
Like
I actually interviewed him in Giant Robot at their offices and everything, and through all that, still wasn't good enough.
still not good enough.
Nope, no,
Alright.
not at all. Yeah.
Like, you just weren't showing your enthusiasm. I think that you like to play it super cool. You
Yeah, I
you
was
keep
trying
your-
to
you
get
keep
shit,
you,
and I
you
couldn't.
you're like I'm like Giant Robot. I may not be the biggest deal, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Oh, and even then, I still couldn't get stuff.
And
So yeah,
like,
Toy 2R
instead
though.
of kowtowing to freaking the CEO and going
Who
Medicom
is
san,
the CEO? I don't even know who
like
that is.
I love it the cause so cool.
That is hilarious. Wow, the accent is spot on. That accent is just on fire.
Oh,
Speaking of accents, Raymond from Toy 2R,
Mhm.
it was interesting because of his kind of was it Cantonese English,
Right.
and his accent was thick.
Mhm.
I learned it because I interviewed him for Giant Robot and I talked to him. I did business with him.
Mhm.
I didn't know for a while what the heck he was saying. And I realized after a while the word vinyl
Right.
is vinyl. So he would say,
Oh,
"Does I?"
why no toy?
He would say designer wino, and I'm like designer wino. I'm like designer wino. Like what is he saying? Designer vinyl, and it was designer wino, and I was like designer wino. What?
Wow.
It took me a long time to go. Oh, it's designer vinyl. Anyways, I thought that was kind of funny. We're all wino to wino toy wino.
Why no toy?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so this on Sunday you had a sculpt thing. With,
Oh yeah. So Dehara continued his little Los Angeles tour by doing a workshop, and which is where you could use the same kind of paper clay that he uses, and you can sculpt your own figure. And he kind of started it by showing us some hot tips. Like his first off, he goes by Teacher D is his new nickname. Call me Teacher D.
Not Sensei,
So
Sensei D.
no, Teacher D.
Teacher D.
Yeah, so he
initial
showed us some.
D.
He showed us some hot tips on how he makes his figures.
Well, he uses a paper clay that is generally not available in the United States.
Yes, you can buy it on Amazon.
Oh,
if
you
want.
can. I can.
Yeah, I just ordered some.
Oh, okay.
No big deal.
Last time the first time I was in Japan, I bought a couple bricks of paper clay, and with the intention, I bought a brick of white and a brick of black, just because I kind of, it's just the easiest
Yeah.
way to go. And like that was freaking 10 years ago. I'm wondering whether or not those bricks are sitting in the refrigerator at my mom's place, so.
All I know is you could buy them for like $10 or nine something on Amazon, whatever. So they exist.
They're probably cheaper in Japan.
Of course, they're about the equivalent of $5 or $4 in Japan. But yeah, it costs a little more. But if you make one good figure out of a whole pack, which you can make many, but if you make just one, wasn't it worth the $10?
Or you get the experience. You like burn through an entire afternoon.
Sure. But I mean, yeah.
Do you have to cook them? Do you have to cook them in like a toaster oven or anything like that?
So
no.
Blow dryer.
Blow dryer.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he used blow dryers to dry them enough where you could paint, and he said in about 3 to 5 days, he said this will be completely dry.
Oh.
And I thought, well, wait, if you put this paint on it, which is like an acrylic gouache, won't it seal it so it won't get air? But I guess he said, no, it should be okay. That's what he does.
The photo
he's kind of an expert.
We posted to promote the show is actually an AI redrawing of a photo that you and I took, and you were holding a piece of like tuna nigiri, which you sculpted from that event, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He handed me a piece of clay and said, "Hey, make something." So I was like, "Okay, I'll make a sushi piece," and and I just tried to make it look kind of realistic. But yeah, he kind of gave these hot tips on what to do. And I think the main one, and it was funny because we were all watching, and here's the hot tip. You're an artist. Maybe this is worth something. You get your little piece of clay, and first off, he splits the clay at the bottom, right? And that now you got 2 legs, right? Yay, right? Okay, that's easy. You just split at the bottom.
Right.
The top, though, he splits it into two more splits, so you have 3 pieces. Right. So now you have a figure. You have a figure with arms up and legs out, right? The arms are up.
Okay.
Right. So just think of that. Right. In the past, like how would you normally do it? You would take a piece of clay and you would make the arms down, right? That's kind of what everyone does. And you're basically carving the arms out of its body, right? Right?
So wait, hold it. Is it?
No, right? Imagine like if you got a piece of clay, your logic tells you to cut the arms out of its body.
Like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So you're cutting like 3 equal parts on the top and basically 2 on the bottom, 2 legs on the top, 2 arms up, and then the middle one, he rolls it down and it turns into a head.
Oh.
So it's like 3 strips up, right? So he makes 2 arms up, 2 legs, and then he rolls the middle and it turns into a head. And we were just like, whoa. And then he said that I think, and the logic in that is that if the arms are up, you can actually then fold them down and now you have shoulders and everything. Whereas if you cut them, you're cutting him. Like if you cut them and they're down and that's how you start your figure, you're actually misshaping your own piece of clay because you're cutting. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot better to start with the arms up. Actually, you're actually going to cut its body out of arms out of its body, which makes no sense
That's a
because
hot.
now you're gonna have this. You're gonna have an indention where the arms are, right,
Does
where the
the
chest is and shit. It's
does
actually fucked up. It was very slick. I was like, oh, of course this is better.
but like is the reason why he's also doing it is it because the materials like do they have a hard time kind of sticking to each other like
It is a little, but I mean, it's such a better way to do it, though. Like ultimately, because like now your arms are up, now you could pose it how you want without like having to reshape the body because the body is already straight up and down. Whereas if you cut it out, cut arms out from like let's say a brick, right? You cut the arms out, now your body's got a weird shape thing, indention thing going on because you cut the
interesting.
arms out of its body. Whereas now, if you just take a block and you turn the arms out of the top with a head,
Mhm.
now you have the straight body all the way down. It's like,
Oh,
duh. It's such a easy, like, it's like, of course that's better.
we're
I
well,
never thought of that. And
huh.
it's like, that was a hot tip because when he did that, everyone was like, whoa. It was hilarious. Everybody was like, whoa. Because it was like, no, of course. And he said that, of course, when you make it that way, from there, it's much easier to pose the whole shape than actually trying to sculpt something with the pose already made. Like if you're sitting, yeah, I'm going to make a person sitting down and you're starting to sculpt them sitting down.
Mhm.
It's harder, he said, than actually starting with that thing with his arms up and then you just start folding it up into a shape. He said that's much easier.
Mm.
You know,
Wow, that's a hot tip.
yeah, very
Good.
big hot tip because I think maybe your proportions are better because if you sculpt somebody with them sitting down, you might make his legs like way too long or you
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Or one arm might be way longer than the other because like let's say they're doing this or and it's
Right.
like you're like, yeah, if you stretch that arm out, it'd be like a foot longer than the other arm.
Sure, sure, sure.
But so this way you have a little bit of like a baseline set up for your character. Anyways, it was a hot tip. Sorry to waste so much time on it,
No,
but I
no.
thought this was an art tip right here. Hot
Wow.
art tip from 25 years of sculpting by Dehara, so there
Yeah.
you go.
No,
Hot tip.
he's been doing it for a long time now. So
Yeah,
I'm
he
wondering.
knows, and he's quick. Like he just can do it really fast. It's amazing.
Again, experience. And like, yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah,
It's.
yeah. In his way, I guess like I mean, there's always this people that are hooked on like maybe perfection or perfect rendering or all those things they matter to some people.
Mhm.
His way definitely is loose. It's like there is no mistake. You know what I mean? Like his stuff can be a little messed up and it's okay. Like that's just the aesthetic of it and he gets away with that.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Yeah.
but
It's like that ugly beauty wabi sabi thing is just kind of
wabi
just the
sabi.
way that the way Dehara does stuff is just it can be fucked up and it's like perfect.
Wait, what's
The more
wabi
fucked up,
sabi? Is that like
it's just like the way it kind of stuff ends up being like
is that a Japanese
like
term?
yeah, it kind of degrades a little and it sort of looks even better because of that and
Mm.
you kind of enjoy that. Dehara's is kind of like that. It's just sort of like if it gets dirty, even better. It's just like it's like there is no I don't think there's like a perfect for that. It's okay.
Um,
And it's so funny because this little kid was sculpting and the little kid wanted to put a penis onto his he's a Dehara fan and he's like a 12-year-old and he was trying to make a penis onto his figure,
okay.
right? He was trying to make a dick, right?
Right.
And the funniest thing was, so Dehara's really good with kids, like he's a good father, I think.
Mhm.
And he's got a kid that's about in middle school.
Mm.
But the funniest thing was I heard it in Japanese that he was making this penis, helping the kid make this penis for his character, and then it fell down, like it fell off
Right.
onto the ground. And I heard Dehara say, he said, "Wow." He said, "This is really important and a very important thing." It's a very important thing. And he says we have to be careful, and he put it back on. But he said it in Japanese. He said, "Oh, it's a very precious thing." He said it's a very precious thing.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
I don't know. Anyway, I
He's
thought that was
he-
funny.
he's a if you're a fan of his work, anyone who's listening out there, you got to come and check out the show. It's
Yep.
I I think he's amazing. I love his work. So
Yeah,
and
he is.
you am I allowed to talk about the cry thing?
Cry
Or
thing.
the cry draw thing?
Oh, sure.
Okay, and then after frickin' Dahara's like little like workshop, the following day you had a cry and draw. And I finally attended.
Draw
I
and cry.
draw and cry. Is it draw and cry or cry and draw?
Technically draw and cry.
Draw and cry. It's kind of like a drink and draw, but without the drink.
There's drinks too if you want to drink. I mean,
Oh.
people are drinking beer and drawing and crying.
You know, this is like, uh, this is my first
It's
time
pri-
hearing
it's
of
ki-
this thing.
It's
And
kind of it's kind of like a private invite only, like, thing, and it's not public, right? Like, we don't want like strangers just walking in going, oh, I'll drink your beer and draw on your paper and
mm,
steal your shit. You know what I mean? It's there.
mm,
It's meant to be kind of private, but yeah, we do that.
okay.
It's like both with artists, but yeah, it's not a public, like, I don't want, the last thing I want are a bunch of like strangers running in there going crazy, and
Mm,
you can't have nice things in Los Angeles.
no, you can't. You really,
No,
you
no, no,
really
no.
can't.
You will be sorry if you made that a free public thing with free beer and pizza and snacks, and it will be a disaster.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you like how often do you usually do these things? Like once a show or once a month or?
It's every week. No, I'm kidding. It's not. It's once in a while.
Mhm.
Once a month, once every 2 months. I mean,
Mm,
sometimes it was weird. On a roll for a bit. We did them once a month, but maybe once every 2 months, maybe
wow,
something like
wow.
that. It's just a get together. We just check in with each other and hang out.
Yeah. And then you
Nothing too weird.
finally decided to like, let me in on this.
Oh, you're invited to everyone, but it's too far. I can't come. It's too far.
It's
But yeah,
it is too far. It's on the
yeah,
west
it's
side of
pretty
the
far.
405.
But some of the artists, they came from West Covina and came and draw.
Who came
hang
from
out.
who's based out of West Covina?
Oh, but we can't talk about who was there.
Yeah, true. True.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. I'm sorry,
Uh,
but an artist or two actually,
yeah.
more than one.
Wow. Wow.
We can talk about who was there. I don't care.
I'm obviously not friends with them because they're not like going, hey man, hey Luke, you're on the way from West Covina. You want to come to the draw and cry? Let's go to show. I have no friends.
No, everyone was just crying. We were all crying. Uh, yeah, the name just was kind of an accident, just kind of random.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, but I think it's because there are drink and draws, which are like, maybe it's what's called sketch party, but
Yep.
I used to think it was called drink and draw. Like, I literally thought that was the name. I was like, oh, you drink and draw and then drive, right? It's like whatever. But
Yeah.
but I think more of it is just for us just to hang out. But
Mm,
I didn't know what to call. I think I didn't know what to call it, so it just became draw and cry.
yeah. I
Because it's a little we're more emo, I think, than like the beer drinking, like party animal drawing crowd, the ones that they draw but they're partying and going crazy and listening to EDM. We're more like emo. So yeah, we might draw and cry instead of like drinking, getting sloshed and
mm,
picking up chicks or whatever is going on, and trying to draw better and picking up more chicks, whatever it is. We're kind of the opposite. We're more shy, and we're like drawing, and we might cry because we have feelings.
I've been to one of those the
I've,
drink and draws, the sketch parties.
I've actually never been, so I'm just making up my vision of these bros just drawing, and they're all buff. They're like muscular with like pens, and
no.
they're all buff.
No, I think it's even more emo than your thing.
I kind of doubt it because ours is crying. It's like that's as emo as you get. But we don't have a bar thing, and we don't have like, I'm sure there's a, like my vision of it is sports TV monitors everywhere, and there's sports everywhere, bros, and wet t-shirt contests.
Oh,
Is there a wet t-shirt contest going on while they're drawing? I assume there's all this stuff. Okay, there's not. But I'm sure it's chill.
It's like Silver Lake hipster, so,
Oh no, that changes everything. So
yeah.
that's draw and barf. That's like, oh, no, I'm kidding.
It's usually held in some hole in the wall. Like,
I'm sure it's
in
fine.
these
It's
party.
oh,
It's cool.
it's great.
Chris is the guy who puts it on is a nice guy. Yeah.
No, isn't it? Wait, isn't it Ken Garduno as well?
I think Ken
I mean,
might
yeah.
be a part
I think
of
he's
it.
part. I think he's been part of it from the get go,
right?
maybe.
But
But yeah, no, it's a thing. It's like an institution. They've been around for a long time.
yeah, I'm wondering whether or not it's even like still going on.
Oh yeah, it is. No, they. I think.
Oh,
Wait,
apparently it's not in
there was
Silver
one
Lake
yes.
anymore.
There was one yesterday.
Oh, there was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, they kind of. It's at Benny Boy Brewery, wherever that is.
Oh,
And yeah, I don't know where that is.
no idea.
Anyways, no, I made up this really false vision of it just to make ours sound so much more emo.
Yeah, it's yours is like catered to the
It's
soft
different.
boys,
It's different.
to
Ours is
those.
like ours is shoegaze. It's a different, man. You know, theirs is like Smashing Pumpkins and what's that group called from Silver Lake? Lazy Eye, the song with the Silver Sun Pickups.
I never even heard of these guys, but
Oh, it's a big band, I think. But
Mm.
yeah, they're it's like it's like Beastie Boys shit.
Mm,
Ours is ours is shoegaze.
I see. I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
You know what's
I'm kidding.
what's interesting?
It's just
is the
fun.
revival of shoegaze. Like people, like kids these days, are saying it as though like it hasn't been around for the past 30 years.
Yeah,
And
I notice it's kind of in, but
Yeah.
I've never left it, Matt.
no, I've been there, since the '90s.
No, I'm actually so now that you brought that up, I've been listening to the Mickey Bereni listening to it. I guess the audiobook
Oh, really?
because she reads it, so I'm hearing it in her voice, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, she has an autobiography that came out maybe I want to guess 6 months ago, maybe or could be
Right.
a year ago.
How is it?
And but yeah, so far been pretty fun to listen to.
Hmm.
Her stories are interesting. So
Mm.
yeah, it's been better than I expected.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Does it
I've
make
been
you want to
listening
listen to our album?
I already listened to her album.
It-
I
like
don't know
her-
about. I don't listen to the last ones. I guess you would say, but
Right,
maybe
that's
the
what I
early ones. Yes.
Yeah, I'm only familiar with the old Lush stuff. So.
Like you don't listen to Spooky. I guess is kind of like where it
Yeah,
gets.
but
It
that's
starts
not
to
Mickey
change.
Bereni. That's like
And then Lady Killers. It's called Lady Killers,
I-
right? The
I-
album. And it's
yeah,
like
didn't
I
like-
didn't really listen to that.
that album wasn't. After that, after Split, which is in my eyes the last like great Lush album. Yeah, I kind of tapped out, which is a little bit
Yeah.
unfortunate. But yeah, like there's this I guess you could say it's a TikTok band called I think something like Rotten Mangoes or Bad Mangoes or
Mm,
something like that. And
right.
they kind of did like the Hope Core song. And if you are familiar with like Hope Core videos, they're usually
No, I don't know what that is.
Hope Core videos they're generally pretty funny and ironic. And it
Hope
usually
Core.
Hope Core, HOPECORE. And it usually has like, someone like some found footage of someone ranting about something. And
Oh.
then what they'll do is they'll play this guitar-y like song, that went viral, and they'll like interlace it with like helicopter shots of like forests and mountains and and stuff like and deserts or whatever, and then they'll have the entire dialogue like spelled out in text as they're saying it, and then it usually ends in some really horrifically ironic kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hope Core, everybody. I
Core.
don't know what that is.
It was trending kind of like earlier this year. I don't know whether or
Oh,
not
wow.
it's still a thing right now.
I'll check it out later.
Yeah, it's worth it's worth checking it out just for the lulz. So
Yeah. And also, there's that band that's kind of people give them a lot of credit now. It's called Whirr, WHIRR. They're a newer shoegaze group that seems to be pretty popular, and that's like I mean even so I'm on the shoegaze subreddit on Reddit.
Okay.
And in their description they mention My Bloody Valentine, Cocteau Twins, and Whirr. But they mention them in the same sentence just because they want to put somebody new in the list of what shoegaze is.
Right.
Although they're not like one of the greatest groups type of thing. They're good. But yeah, that's one of them.
The
So they
band
get
is called Flawed Mangoes, and
Flawed Mangoes.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Then
Okay.
like they
check
have
it out.
a pretty like. I think they just released an album or something like that, and they tried
Okay.
doing a bunch of like they tried like an entire like social media campaign to tease it out, but like for some reason it just didn't hit, you know, probably because of the way people use social media these days.
Right.
Like I think what they did was they like clipped out like a 20-second clip of like the big song off the album, and I guess it was kind of like the peak of that song, and what once people heard it, they were like, okay, whatever, and it just none of the new material kind of seemed to catch for some reason. I don't know. I haven't really listened to it, but it um seems cool. So, but anyways, check out Flawed Mangoes. Check out Hope Core. It's good stuff. But
I will.
anyways,
And check out shoegaze in general. I don't know.
there's
But
so many
all
weird.
those groups are back, right? All those groups are most of them are back, except for not Cocktail Twins, but
Yeah, My
a lot of
Bloody
these groups are
Valentine are
playing.
touring again. Apparently.
Yeah, I think they have 2 dates in Japan, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm.
also upcoming. So, yeah, no, there's a lot of that's happening. I mean, among everything that's kind of come back shoegaze is not exempt. They're
Right.
also back.
Yeah, I just saw Mogwai perform a couple weeks ago,
Wow.
and they played like in some venue kind of near downtown, and yeah, they were great. Like,
Wow.
earplugs on because my ears are can't handle the sound these days. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
They're rad.
what?
I said no, they're rad.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. So, let me think. What have I been up to? I went to this thing in the Hollywood Bowl. I went to this like quote unquote Hollywood Bowl opening event, and I didn't know anyone there because my girlfriend Rachel, she is a food writer and this and that, and so she gets invitations to these kind of events, and she dragged me along with her, and we got to sample all of the new food that's going to be available at the Hollywood Bowl, and yeah, you got to stand on the stage of the Hollywood Bowl, which I guess not very many people get that
Oh wow.
opportunity. So and yeah, it was, like the
So there's nobody sitting in the audience.
no.
Okay, because I was like wondering if it was full of people and they're just watching you guys eat. I was like, what is this?
Herbie Hancock was there, and
Did he play music?
No, he was just hanging
Oh.
out. He was just being
okay.
like, I'm, Herbie fucking Hancock.
And he was like, I'm gonna try these fries. They're so good.
I'm gonna try these small pizzas and like these little mini burritos that you guys are selling
with truffle salt
and
sprinkled truffle salt.
I was I was thinking like part of me was like, oh, this is an opportunity to get a picture with Herbie Hancock, but then I was like, I don't know anything about Herbie Hancock aside from like that one song that one
Rocket.
Yeah, Rocket from the 1980s. Like I don't
mm-hmm.
like I never really listened to his Blue Note catalog, and I never really listened to like anything outside of Rocket, and it just kind of felt like it would be lame for like me to like, well, hey, my name's Luke Chu. I'm a big fan of the song Rocket. And at the time I didn't even remember the name of the song. So, like I don't know. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna chill and, watch like
Did you recognize him?
No, they pointed him out and I was like, oh, okay, that's Herbie Hancock.
Wow.
So but he's alive. Looks great. Not in a wheelchair.
I don't even know what he would look like now. I think the last time I've seen a picture of him might have been 20 plus years ago. His hair must be gray.
Yeah, his hair must be. It looks a little bit grayer, but like he's like rolling with the stereotype. Like yeah, black don't crack. He looks great.
Right on.
So
cool, awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know. I might have an album or two of his that's not Rocket, but I don't remember what it sounds like. I think it was more straight up jazz is what I have, but I can't remember. Yeah, I too would be a guilty party. Although I do remember the name of the song.
Did he do
Rocket.
like Take Five or like any of those like kind of big
I'm sure
jazz
it's.
hits?
I'm sure maybe as a cover song. I don't think he wrote it.
Right.
I'm sure he played it.
Yeah.
If he hasn't, I'm sure he's played it at some point in his life. You could have lied and said that I was there when you played Take Five. He'd have been like, yeah. Well, I wonder what show. Like he probably
Jazz standards.
Yeah. You just mentioned a jazz standard. He's probably had to have played it.
I'm sure
don't
he's
know.
done like
I
his
could be wrong.
own version of like Girl from
Sure.
Ipanema and all this other stuff too. So
Sure. No, he's a legend. I
Yeah.
don't know enough about him either, though. Frankly,
yeah,
I'd be a poser if I would have said, "Hey, bro, you were the greatest." I'd be like,
yeah,
I can't do it.
I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's I always feel weird like every time like I've met I've met like Robert Williams a couple times, and like he's a fucking legend, but like
Yes.
I'm just like you're great, okay, bye.
Oh, so I actually sat across from him at a dinner once,
Robert Williams.
and so I talked to him a bunch, and he was pretty like quiet, and only when anything got perverted did he get excited. like I mean, he's an older dude, but yeah, he sure gets excited because he's like he's an artist who probably was like a lot of other artists, just probably introverted, quiet, or you know what I mean.
Right.
But like any kind of like anything to do with like women for him, he just got all excited and dorky though, like geeky, like geeky excitement. Like he was telling stories about how he was drawing a nude model with somebody else, and I forgot, and it just they're all giggling or something. It got all awkward. I don't know. Like he was just giggling the whole time and laughing. That's when he started getting excited. It was kind of funny.
See, like
and it was one of those things that you've been to. What's it called?
Baby Tattoo.
Yeah, that. And it was like an early one, long time ago. And he was talking about in a hotel room, they had a nude model and they were drawing, and it got to like something, and something happened, and he just started giggling.
Was that the story? It was a story about Baby Tattooville or something like that.
I don't know. Maybe them in a
Might have.
hotel room with a nude model or something.
Yeah, that sounds like a Michael Husser story.
But it was just funny because that's the only time he got super animated was anything to do with a naked woman or something. He got, but it's geeky excited. It wasn't like cool. It was like, oh my god, this guy's completely like geeky, hilarious. Like he got really funny. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's
Before that, he was kind of quiet and playing it cool. But yeah, once that happened, he started giggling.
He got into it. He got
yeah.
I feel like I'm too.
But he's
prudish
a
to be
legend.
like that.
He's a legend. What's that?
I feel like I'm too prudish to be like allow myself to be like like all excited about like
Nude model.
Yeah, nude model.
But a nude model did something funny or something. It wasn't just giggling at a nude model. It was like maybe she cut a fart, or I don't know what happened. All I know is he just got excited about something that happened.
I mean, that would be great.
But it wasn't like oh, we had a three-way. It wasn't like that. It was more like, yeah, she did this and that and this and that, and it was like, oh my god, and we were starting, then I was like, okay. I was like, I got you. It was more like that. It wasn't bro cool. It was like geeky, like, oh my god, she's naked. Like it was more on that kind of level of it was like almost childish sounding, But yeah, he's cool. He was actually really cool.
Anything coming up this week?
Oh man. Okay, so starting tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Los Angeles Art Book Fair.
Oh shit.
So it's not at MoCA this year, unfortunately. It is at Art Center South Campus, and I don't know how that's going to be, but I know it's split up into separate buildings, so you definitely aren't going to be under one roof. It's going to be kind of spread out, and I'm sure they had a venue issue because of, I think, an art exhibition at the MoCA location.
Art.
Otherwise, I think it's going to be just this year, this way. I think next year or whenever it's back,
Dude,
it should be back at Mocha.
I'm looking for it right now. So because I feel like I need to get tickets for this thing. You know,
So they have entry hours. I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's $5. But I mean, they have timed entries, but I don't know. I think they did that, if I'm not mistaken, at Mocha as well. So
right.
they did some kind of timed entry thing at the last year of it. Was it last year,
Oh,
maybe, or year before?
opening
They did a
night
timed
is
entry.
$30.
Yeah, you know, and so my experience of that from the Mocha past years is that yay, we don't have good sales. That's a real. Everybody leaves empty-handed. Nobody's buying anything.
Mhm.
Everyone's got a glass of wine in their hand and no books. You know, literally, I remember it being a kind of a bad sales day, and it was more of like a evening party, whatever.
So
You know what I mean?
that's what you're doing tomorrow.
Unfortunately, yeah, I'm supposed to do that. I have to set up and then work that tomorrow night. But then, yeah, I just know that it doesn't really do well. It just it's kind of you know, it's kind of look at me, I'm wearing a dress, or look at me, I'm wearing a cool shirt or a suit or a whatever, you know, or a,
Mm,
it's sort of like that. It's like I'm there to be seen, but no one. I just remember last year nobody had a bag of books.
wow.
It was empty. Everyone was empty-handed. That's what I remember. Like leaving, you know,
They,
like
they,
when everyone was leaving.
I'm looking on
It's okay.
Saturday. I'm looking at Saturday, and there's only 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. available right
I
now.
bet Sunday is wide open. Correct? Am I wrong? Sunday
Sunday's free, and that's like the biggest shitstorm there
is it
is.
bad on Sunday? I think Saturday's busier than Sunday
Dude, like
usually.
I was fucking. I think the last time we were there, which was 2 years ago, I guess. I think I was
Did it
like,
not happen? Did it not happen last year? I guess not,
I
huh?
think weren't you telling me that it's like an every other year thing?
I don't know. Yeah, but I already forgot. Did it happen last year or is it 2 years ago? Time
Uh,
has flown. Isn't that sad? I feel like it was last year, but was it?
yeah, I feel like
Maybe it wasn't.
no, I think it was 2 years ago. It's
Yeah,
amazing how time
I
flies.
I know, and I think they're supposed to be alternating years, evidently. But then I noticed that the New York Art Book Fair is going to take place this year.
Mm,
So they had it last year too. So maybe they're just going to do it annual from now on, or maybe LA is just going to be every 2 years. I don't know.
right.
Yeah, but I hope it's every year because it is pretty. I like it.
Okay. Maybe I should. I don't know. Like, maybe I should buy tickets. I don't know. I don't know. Like,
I don't know either, and I have to read up on it because I don't really understand how it's going to work. Or do I have extra tickets? I don't know.
I'm trying to
I
think
have
of
no
like
idea.
what books that I've bought. I've bought like a a book on what's his name? I'm blanking on his name right now. The Japanese guy who like does the robots, the sexy robots.
Sorayama.
Sariyama. Yes, I bought a Sariyama book there. Like maybe like maybe like before the pandemic, maybe 6 years
Hmm.
ago or something. And I think that's like one of the few things that I kind of took away from that event. And actually, it was funny because I think that was the year that I had me like sitting at your booth doing some kind of signing thing.
Oh, and then the drawing ended up on eBay.
Yeah, I so it was three people showed up with freaking canvases and and asked me to draw on it, and I was just like, what the fuck? And I literally drew like a fucking bear on it with huge words on it that said something along the lines of like, this is
Like fan art? No, no. What'd you call it?
uh
Fan service.
this is fan
Fan
service.
service?
Yeah.
And then they sold it, right? Or what? Put it for sale.
They tried selling it. I have no idea whether or not it actually
Yeah.
sold. I hate googling or eBaying my own
Yeah.
name.
Sure.
You
Sure.
know. I'm going to next week. I think from Tuesday to Wednesday, I'm going to go to the licensing expo in Las Vegas.
Oh, I've always wanted to go to that.
Yeah,
Gosh.
yeah, it's $35
Cool.
to attend.
Oh, it's not bad. I thought it was expensive, like hundreds of dollars.
No,
Shit.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah, it's only $35, and
wow.
I want to go and check it out. I want to like see like what I don't really know anything about licensing. I don't
Me
really
neither. I'd love to go and look. I don't know
know.
much. I'd
Well,
love to see it.
I'll report in next week.
Man.
If not Wednesday, then Thursday for sure.
What days are you going to that?
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Oh, so is that the days it takes place?
It takes place all week, I think, or at least
Oh.
3 days.
So you paid ahead of time, or can I just show up and pay and get in?
I have
don't
no
know.
idea. I have no idea.
Okay, so you already bought a ticket or whatever.
Yeah, I bought a ticket with like the plans
Oh.
of like checking out, but you know, it doesn't hurt to like
I don't know if
check
I'm really going or not. If I do, it'll be a miracle. That means I just said, "Fuck it, I'm going," and I'm drove down there and I'm doing it.
out.
But I doubt I'm doing it.
You
But I
know,
like the idea of it.
if
I've
you-
always wanted to see it. I've always been curious about it, and
well, you know,
Yeah, I don't know.
if you decide you want to do it from like Wednesday to Thursday, might have a I might be able to hook you up. So
okay,
you know,
okay,
like after I fucking head out.
yeah.
So
Oh, and I'll be Luke Chu walking around.
yeah, it's Luke Chi. Like he like sit there and spit on my name and fucking it'll be great.
Luke Chu. Yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah.
Anyways, well, you want to call it a wrap for tonight?
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap, guys.
Robot and the Bear.
Ro-
We're out.
Peace. And then we put the fucking. I used AI to create theme music for Robot.
Oh,
and the Bear.
you're oh, okay.
But like
Okay.
my micro,
I couldn't hear it though.
my microphone doesn't fucking doesn't play it.
Yeah,
It's sad. It's super sad.
I like it. Are you gonna try one more time?
I'm gonna try.
I don't know
one
why
more time.
it didn't work.
Let's see whether or not it plays it.
Maybe it needs to be further away. I don't quite know.
I don't know. Is it Are the speakers down here from the bottom of the phone?
I have no idea.
Let me see.
I assume it's on the top.
Turn it up.
It's at the top.
Can you hear anything?
It's at the top, isn't it?
Oh.
I can't really hear it. No.
Oh
It's
no!
strange.
Yeah, I thought I didn't. Did I turn on?
Oh,
No.
you just cut out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I thought you could just sing your own version better, but
Oh,
okay.
there you go. Can you hear it now?
Oh, that works. Yeah.
Yeah. I just yeah. Anyway.
Wow, is this Herbie Hancock?
Herbie on the keys.
So that's an AI music?
That is AI music there, buddy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now I can hear it. There it is.
Yep. And I wrote the lyrics to the song. It just says
Really?
yeah, it just says Robot and the Bear 3 times and then podcast.
Oh my god. Whose voice is that mimicking?
AI.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yep.
It sounded like it was going to be a Madonna music. That's what I thought it would be, like Holiday or something.
Yep. Here I am stealing
Wow.
jobs from freaking hardworking musicians.
Wow. Yeah, I guess. Well, would you ever pay a musician to do that? No.
No.
So
I
there's
can't
no
afford
job being
to.
stolen.
We're not making money doing this. We're just having.
Yeah, I know.
We're doing it for the shits and giggles.
Shits and giggles. Okay.